Hello again, Vinyl Community, Matt here. So today I am going to be showing you some classic albums from the 90s, some British rock and alternative rock albums. A little bit of Britpop mixed in as well, so let's get started. First up we have the La's self-titled album. Now, I did show this very briefly in the video where I demonstrated the denim method of unsealing a sealed record but keeping the shrink intact, but I didn't go into any details. Now, the La's are regarded as a bit of a one-hit wonder, which is kind of fair and unfair. It's a little bit unfair because they did have other single releases, but by far their biggest hit was There She Goes, which is on this album. Great track. Yeah, so there's the back. And this was released in 1990. I'll show you the label as well. Now, an interesting thing about the La's is that one of their members was a guy named John Power. Now, he was, I believe, a bass guitar player and a vocalist, a backing vocalist for the La's, but he would later go on to form the band Cast, and he would be the frontman with Cast. He wrote almost all of their songs. I think he wrote just about every track on this album. This album, All Change, was a big breakthrough album in '95. They were a real staple of the Britpop scene for several years in the mid to late 90s. They had a bunch of hits. Several of them hit the top 10. So yeah, that's a little connection there between Cast and the La's. The second album I picked up was Screamadelica by Primal Scream. Now, this is more of a alternative pop, alternative rock album, I guess I should say. It's not really alternative pop, but it does contain some kind of pop, dance, and funk elements, and this is what really made them big. They'd been around for a number of years in the 80s in the kind of the indie scene, the underground indie scene in the UK, but this is what really made them big, when they added kind of the dance and pop elements to their music. And here's the back of it. Several single releases from this album, including Moving On Up, Loaded, Come Together. I think Higher Than the Sun was a single release as well. And this is a gatefold. I'll show you the label first of all. It's very nice right there, nice red label on Sony Music. And this was released in 1990, I think, or 91. Doesn't say. I think it was 1990. And like I said, this is a gatefold. We have to open it this way. That's pretty cool. And next up we have Space and the album Spiders. As you can probably see, although I have it, let me take this out of the outer sleeve. This was a Record Store Day 2016 exclusive, and as you can see, it's a picture disc. And there's the back of it with the tarantula coming out of the drain. That's pretty cool, huh? Number of hits were released off of this, including Neighbourhood, Female of the Species, which is a great track, Dark Clouds, and Me and You versus the World. And they're like alternative pop, alt rock, alt pop, and they have very unusual chord structures to some of their songs, particularly the choruses. And this was a pretty big album. Came out in '96, big album in the UK back in the day, and I kind of think of them as Britpop, even though they're really not. Just because I guess they have that alternative rock thing going on. Next up, Stone Cold Classic, Oasis, Definitely Maybe. I showed this very quickly for my contest entry for Hannah, the Omaha Introverts 1000 subs competition, but I didn't go into any great details about it. So yeah, I did finally pick this up. This is now my third Oasis album that I have on vinyl, and there's always been a little bit of a back and forth, I think, among die-hard Oasis fans as to whether this album's better or whether What's the Stormy Morning Glory is better, and it's pretty close. I think I just about prefer What's the Stormy Morning Glory, but it is very close. Here's the back of it. I mean, there are some great tracks on here. Rock and Roll Star, Shaker Maker, yeah, Live Forever, Columbia, Supersonic, Cigarettes and Alcohol, and and a bunch of others. And this is the album that really kind of made them. I mean, this is what set them on their way, was Definitely Maybe. And this, in many ways, this isn't an entirely true statement, but this is one of the iconic albums of the Britpop era that really helped to ignite Britpop. It had been around for a year or two before this. This came out in '94. Really, Britpop started in around 92-ish, 92, 93. But I mean, this really helped Britpop. I mean, you know, I mean, it just soared after Definitely Maybe came out. This was such a huge album. This and Blur, like Park Life around the same time. You know, those were the big two back then. And then finally, this is a little bit of a departure because this is a rock album, and it is from the 90s, and it is British, but it's not like the others. And that is Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Black Moon. Now, I'm not a big fan of Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I'm going to just admit it. They're prog rock stuff from the 70s. I can't get into it. I used to have Works Volumes 1 and 2 on vinyl. Those did not survive the vinyl cull that I had in November when I got rid of a lot of stuff, because I thought, you know, I don't listen to them, why keep them? This album, however, is quite different. It's it has 3 songs in particular on it that are just terrific. Farewell to Arms, Affairs of the Heart, and Footprints in the Sand. They're just lovely songs, like very acoustic, particularly Affairs of the Heart and Footprints in the Sand. Farewell to Arms builds and builds and builds, and I just love the chorus in it. So, and this is a recent repress, and I just happened to search for it on Amazon one day on a whim, and it came up. I'd looked for it before, and all you could get was an original press, which was going for, I don't know, $40, $50, something like that. You know, it came out in '92, I think. Oh, yes, 1992, and you know, so that was really, vinyl was really on a downward slide in '92. By that point, it was all about CDs, you know, and cassettes to a certain extent. So I hadn't bothered, so I got it on CD instead, like a year ago or something. And I thought, well, one day maybe I'll get it on vinyl, but it's too expensive. And finally I looked, and it's been reissued. And apparently it says it was reissued in 2017, so I guess I was a year or two late. I missed the boat, but yeah, 2017 remaster of the original 1992 album. So very cool, and it was less than $20, so very, very pleased to pick that up. Yeah. Okay, so who wants a needle drop? No? How about 2 needle drops? Yeah, 2 for the price of none. So we're going to do needle drops on There She Goes by the La's and Neighbourhood by Space. So stick around. Yeah, if you guys don't know those songs, hope you enjoy them. So yeah, we're going to listen to those right now. So hang around. Thank you guys as always for watching. If you'd like to subscribe, please hit the subscribe button below. Hit the bell icon, and you'll be notified whenever I post a new video, which is a couple of times a week, give or take. So yeah, thank you guys as always for watching, and until next time, bye bye. Don't go anywhere. We're gonna listen to some music right now.
Saddam Hussein says he's on the chart to start the Third World War. Oh, if you find a time, please come and stay a while in my beautiful neighborhood. In 110, they haven't paid the rent, so there goes the TV with the repo men. In 999, they make a living from crime. The house is always empty 'cause they're all doing time. Oh, if you find a time, please come and stay a while in my beautiful neighborhood. My neighborhood, my beautiful neighborhood. My neighborhood, my beautiful neighborhood. Who lives in a house like this? Who lives in a house like this? In number 18 there lives a big butch queen. He's bigger than Tyson and he's twice as mean. In 666 there lives a Mr. Miller. He's a local vicar and a serial killer. Oh, if you find a time, please come and stay a while in my beautiful neighborhood. My neighborhood, my beautiful neighborhood. My neighborhood, my beautiful neighborhood. Who lives in a house like this?
Who lives here, man?
Who lives in a house like this? Oh, they want to knock us down 'cause they think we're scum. But we will all be waiting when the bulldozers come. In a neighborhood like this, you know it's hard to survive.